Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Horror Podcast. My name is Sean,
And I'm Missy.
and we're going to do a side-by-side comparison, a original versus a remake, even though we're not really pitting them against one another, but we're going to talk about them both. These are way more in Missy's wheelhouse, but I found that I enjoyed both. And for the original, this was like my third attempt, and I finally found something to
Really?
hang on to. Yeah. So
Okay.
this is Witchboard from 1986, written and directed by Kevin Tenney, and it's Witchboard from 2024, uh, directed by Chuck Russell, written by Chuck Russell, Greg McKay, inspired by Kevin Tenney. Um, you couldn't have two more different movies. I mean,
No,
it's one of those things where it's like,
it's a
let's just,
reimagining. They're
it's a
not,
reimagining, and I'm fine with it, not a
me too.
criticism.
Honestly, I tend to like those better. Reimaginings. I don't think everything needs to be remade. And I don't like a lot of remakes, but when they do the reimaginings where they take an idea and then just do their own story with it, it usually works better, in my opinion. I usually end up liking those,
Right.
especially if I like the people involved with it. And I love both movies. The original Witchboard, the 1986 from Kevin Tenney, it's a forever favorite for me. It's one of those movies I discovered on cable as a kid.
Uh-huh.
I was an HBO kid. My parents didn't care what kind of horror movies I watched as long as I wasn't watching lots of, tits and ass and sex. They didn't care about blood and gore. And they went to bed early and I didn't sleep. I discovered all kinds of cool 80, I am a horror fan because my parents had HBO. Well, at least that's one of the reasons. And I've always loved this movie. This one stars Tawny Katane as the leading lady, and she's very easy to latch onto and ride along with. And I always liked her. I thought it sparked my interest in the occult and Ouija, tarot, all those kind of things. I saw hints of them in horror movies as a kid and then explored them as I got older.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think movies like Witchboard and The People Under the Stairs and various different ones planted those seeds for me.
Right.
Um, because People Under the Stairs is where I first saw tarot, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because the whole beginning sequence with the
Yeah,
tarot and the
right.
fool, and
Right.
I think that's the first place I saw it where I went, okay, I want to know more about this. And Witchboard started an interest in the occult and Ouija boards and all that kind of weird stuff. I think it has some cool deaths. Like, I think the sheetrock death is cool.
Yeah.
That one always stayed with me. And Zarabeth getting impaled on a sundial, like that always stayed with me. And it's just one of those movies that like imprinted on me at a young age, and I've always loved it. It's classic 80s cheese. It's old school. It was indie at the time. It's full of all the practical effects that we love, and I liked things that would dive into the occult.
Hmm.
And then Joe Bob showed it on the last drive-in, I think in season 5, so a couple years ago. So if it was something that was in regular rotation before, it was in more rotation once it was with Joe Bob.
Right.
Because I will turn on things with Joe Bob just as comfort stuff, anyways. And I'm of the opinion that if any movie is available with Joe Bob and I want to rewatch it, I will watch the Joe Bob version. So it just made me watch it more. But I just think it's fun. It's one of those. These are the movies that made me fall in love with horror to begin with. And then the new Witchboard, it's from 2024, but it got a very, very, very limited theatrical release last year. I got to see it in a theater, an empty theater. but
I
I got to
remember.
see it in a theater. Um, yeah, because I was waiting for it. Fangoria did a big article about it and everything, and then it didn't really go anywhere. My theater got it for like a weekend, and I saw it at like 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, and there was no one else there. So I got a whole theater to myself. That one, it's a modern spin on it. It's directed by Chuck Russell, who people will know for he directed Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors and The Blob 88, which is also a fantastic remake. I
Yes,
don't
agreed.
like, I mean, the original is fine, but when I think of The Blob, I think of the 88 version. I
Yeah, I don't
love
give
that
a shit
one.
about the original. It's got its place in history, but I don't really care.
Right.
It's fine.
It's fine, but it's not, when I say I want to watch The Blob, it's the
Yeah, it's the
88.
88. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the one everybody's going to know him from. And the way he tells stories, it's got that nostalgic 80s feel to it, but it is a reimagining. You're not even dealing with a straight up Ouija board. It's this really beautiful pendulum board with
Yeah,
this with this badass pendulum that's made out of a finger. And
yeah.
it's like it's creepy looking, but it's I love the design on the board. I think it's fucking gorgeous. um this version deals a lot more with actual witchcraft and witches. The original witchboard does not. They call it witchboard. There are no witches in 86 witchboard. There are no witches, but there
None.
were
Not a one.
that movie. All right, originally it was supposed to be called Ouija, and they started filming it as Ouija. Um, and they were using a Parker Brothers board. They later learned that Parker Brothers didn't own that. Things had to be reshot, and they had to use a different board, and they had to pay like some kind of settlement or whatnot, where they were able to integrate some of the stuff they shot previously with new stuff, but it was retitled as Witchboard. So it was a whole thing because they didn't know who owned the word Ouija, but it wasn't Parker Brothers, and it
Which is
was a thing.
hysterical because as Joe Bob points out in his presentation, like there's at the beginning, it's like, it's been around since like, 1390 when they used to call them witch boards. And then like Joe Bob's like, it hasn't been around that long. And also like they just threw in that like they originally called them witch boards just to like validate the title being witch
Right.
boards.
Well, and when Joe Bob showed it, he had like an expert who it's like the
Yeah.
guy who manufactures the leading manufacturer of Ouija boards on the show. And yes, the history they give us in the movie Witchboard is not correct. And there are no witches in the movie. It's about a woman who's playing with a Ouija board by herself and contacts an evil spirit. Um, the new version, the 2024, does deal with witchcraft and actual witches. Um, like it does use some CGI. It's a blend of practical and CGI, and
Yes. I don't think it's a
there's
super obtrusive, but like it's not terrible.
it's not. I mean, he does lean much more heavily on the practical, and they use the CGI mainly to enhance the practical effects and to remove wires and different shit. But there were a couple.
There's a couple
There's a
things I was like,
couple
that
scenes.
didn't work so well, but fine.
Yeah, but it's fine. It didn't. I might have wrinkled my nose at it, but it wasn't like props to a lot of these directors that are making movies now, where at least they're using both. They try to lean more into the practical. Like I respect that.
Yeah.
I know there's some stuff that it would be too costly or whatnot, and you have to use CGI. So the fact that you try to do as many things practically as you can,
Yeah.
it puts me in your corner. And even if there's some CGI that makes me crinkle my nose, you're trying. Like
Yeah, exactly.
so I'll forgive it. It's fine. Um, but I think it captures that 80s nostalgic feel, but it still feels fresh. Um, and I love Jamie Campbell Bower, who people will know from Stranger Things as Vecna. That's how we got the part. Um, Chuck Russell saw him doing Vecna on Stranger Things and wanted him.
That's cool.
Um, I think he steals every scene he's in.
He
He's
does.
like, I love him as, the occult doctor, and it. I think both movies are a super fun ride, and I love them both for different reasons.
The original Witchboard came out in 86, so I was 10. And I can remember watching movies on Channel 9 during the week where you'd have your after school, whatever, at 7 o'clock, you'd get a movie. And then that would, or maybe it was 8 o'clock, and then that would go into the nightly news at 10. But that's how I saw a lot of like Carpenter stuff and just, it's random
Okay,
stuff. And
like the edited for TV
yeah,
nightly movies. Okay.
yeah. Um, and I can remember seeing the ads for Witchboard as a kid and thinking it looked freaky as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then I never saw it until,
Until Joe Bob.
no, until, I don't know, like early to mid 2000s. I bought a used copy of the DVD and I got all psyched for it. And I didn't even finish it. I like literally turned it off and I gave it to somebody that I worked with. That like they were like, "Oh, that's a Tawny Katane." I was like, "Here, you can have it." Like, I was so disappointed because I don't know what it was. I just rewatched the TV spot on YouTube the other day. I'm like, I don't know as a kid why I thought this was going to be so freaky, but I thought, I don't know. So there's the expectation baggage thing, but also, so then I rewatched it with Joe Bob the first time, and I don't think I finished it that time either. I was just like,
Really?
I think it was the second movie or something, and I was just like, nah, whatever.
It wasn't. It was the first movie. I
Okay,
remember
okay.
because I
Oh,
was
you're
at
right. No,
work
you're
and
right.
I
It was the
missed
first.
it.
Yes, you're right.
And I forget what the second movie was, but I remember you telling me that he was showing Witchboard, and I was bummed because I love this movie. It's like, oh, I'll have to wait till Sunday. And then when I got home, the second movie, which I could usually catch, was not half as exciting as Witchboard.
Right. Yeah, I watched it with him, and however much I watched, if I watched the whole thing, I don't remember it at all. But so I really been thinking about this, and then I watched it the other night, and the thing that I leaned on this time is that it's Kevin Tenney, and
Hmm.
he did this, and then like 2 years later, he did Night of the
Night of
Demons,
the
and I
Demons.
really like Night of the Demons. So I tried to watch it this time looking at it as a Kevin Tenney movie, a precursor to this movie I like. So can I draw on the Kevin Tenneyisms, right?
Okay, you can.
And I did like it, but here's the thing. Here's what I think holds this movie back. I just feel like the set design is non-existent.
With
Like
the house.
everything is just so brightly lit and boring as fuck.
Okay.
Like I just don't I even like the scene on the dock. I'm just like, why are you there? Like, there's so many things. It could have
Okay.
been. I was really thinking about this, and if they could have just done something different with the locations, I think it would have made
Okay.
it a better movie. And also, there's like, I mean, there's some stuff you could attribute to growing pains. Like, I feel like the opening party sequence, they come out of the gate really strong, letting us know how Stephen Nichols' character feels about Todd Allen's character. Like
Brandon,
it's a little
Brandon
bit
and
like
Jim.
yeah, it's a little bit abrupt and like, but whatever. So fuck all that. I mean, and the other thing is like we get flashes of the guy with the beard, and I think that was a scene. I think there was a scene in the TV spot with the bearded guy with the axe
With
swinging
the
it.
axe.
And I feel like the story develops so late, where like he's not even in the movie for more than like Tawny Katane is really like the one that
Yeah,
delivers
she's
his
the lead.
scene, and she does fine, but like So all of that stuff to me, I'm like, I just feel like there's a lot of missed opportunity. Whatever. Like I enjoyed it more this time. I watched it all the way through, and I paid attention all the way through. That's actually probably what happened with the Joe Bob screening is I probably stopped
Well,
paying attention.
the bearded man with the axe isn't even really an axe.
I know, I
He was,
know.
yeah, he was like somebody from the crew that looked big and imposing, so they used him.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you could say the same thing about Frank Silva. Bob from Twin Peaks was just a set dresser that was in the shot, and it's like, oh wait, he really rose to the occasion. But so it was the same thing. Like Killer Bob was not an actor; he was a set dresser that was
oh, okay,
accidentally in a shot, and then David Lynch saw it and was like, oh my God, we're using him. So
gotcha,
it's
okay.
something similar where like somebody in the crew looks a certain way. I just
And they're
even
like,
if
we can use him for this.
I enjoyed it this time to a degree. I'm not in any hurry to watch it again, but like I did end up like liking the reassembling of the friendship that then
Hmm.
abruptly ends with a death. And I was like, oh
Right,
no, they just got to be friends again. Like, oh my God,
right.
you know?
But you were invested then. You cared.
Yeah,
You care about the characters. You care what happens to them.
yeah.
Um, I mean, it's a house that they used for other movies. Like,
It looks cool
um,
outside, but when they go in, I'm like, turn the lights off. Like, Jesus fucking
right.
Christ, every light's on, like all the
It
time.
it's the same house from Waxwork. Um,
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Waxwork and Willard from 71, but it used to be a shooting location somewhere in LA, but it's not anymore. It's been
Right.
retired.
Okay.
I'm glad you were able to connect with the Kevin Tenney-ness, though. I mean, I
Yeah,
love
it's
both movies
there.
too, but both Night of the Demons and Witchboard. I love Witchboard more, but it's probably because I saw it first.
Probably.
And I saw it first, and you know, like Ouija boards always intrigue me. I don't mess with them, but I like the aesthetic. I find them very interesting.
Yeah.
I just you and I have a healthy respect for what you shouldn't fuck with, and I don't fuck with them.
See, I think Ouija boards are complete bullshit marketing garbage. Like, I like the aesthetic to a degree, but it's ruined by the fact that it's. I don't believe anything about it. Like, I don't think they work at all. And like, I use tarot every day. I believe, I understand it in a Jungian,
Right,
whatever. Like, it works. It's not what people who don't know about it think, like, oh, it's like this,
right.
like it's more psychological than it is supernatural. But like, I just think
Hmm.
Ouija boards are complete fucking bullshit. Um,
Well, we both know though that if you
if
if
you
you
invest
open
in it,
doors, well, and if you open like if you're opening yourself to something, shit can fuck with you. I don't think the Ouija board itself is dangerous, but if you start fucking around with shit, sometimes things answer. I also don't stand in a mirror and say Candyman or any of that kind of
right?
stuff either.
Well, I would think that would work before a Ouija board would. I mean, I just feel like it's like a commodity as opposed to an actual, like ritualistic whatever. I had a friend who you knew as well, who I had a similar conversation with, and he brought at one point, then quite some time after the conversation, brought out a really old looking Ouija board. Like I was like, oh wow, this is really interesting, And we used it and it worked,
Hmm.
and it was there was a battery thing. It was complete bullshit. He showed me. I'm like, see. He's
Oh,
like, but you
okay.
believe for a second. I'm like, yeah, and it was bullshit. So there you go. I mean, I also saw somebody. My favorite Ouija board stories in high school. My friend Jake, we were at a party and somebody's older brother showed up with a Ouija board and immediately was like, "Get that thing out of here!" And the guy's like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" And he just stood up, walked over, took it out of the guy's hands, and broke it over his knees and handed it back to him. It was amazing. He's like, "Just get," because he was like, "Don't fuck with that, don't fuck with that." But now Chuck Russell's Witchboard.
Right.
This movie reminds me a lot of another reimagining from a couple years ago that I thought I mean, I'm not gonna say like this is amazing, but I was like pretty fucking solid what you did here. This reminds me a lot of the Castle Freak remake, which I really liked. We covered on the show, I don't know, 2019, I think it came out, something like that. But I liked this. I thought all of the changes were good. Uh, I don't know. It was really interesting, and then there were some spots where it like could have used a little bit of something, but overall, I enjoyed it. And I thought it was a really refreshing take. I got no '80s-ness from the remake whatsoever, none. I'm not contesting you saw it there. I just didn't pick up that vibe
Hmm.
at all. I just felt like
Okay.
this was like completely modern. Um, but it was good, and it was nice to see them back to back. Like it was a good juxtaposition.
I think it's more the way the story is told, like the way the movie moves,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
like the pacing, the um the pacing, the way it moves, the way it's conveying its story, not so much the way it looks.
What? Oh, okay. I didn't get that even from that, but I mean, also, I don't know. It felt very modern to me.
Okay. It
The
may also be playing on nostalgia for me
That's
because of my
probably what it
attachment to
is.
the other movie.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. I thought it was pretty fucking solid. It's a shame because it's like not really. I just feel like it really, like you said, it was in the theater for a fucking week. We didn't get it here.
It
It was in
didn't
the
even
theater
get a
for a
full
weekend.
week. It was like
Um,
just a weekend.
it's not on anything. Like I had to rent it, which is fine, but like you're more liable to gain an audience if it's on if it's included with something. And I don't.
Right.
This is one of those movies where it's like you get
I
like
don't.
Paramount who like claims like they I felt like when that I didn't watch it, you did, and I know you're gonna roll your eyes because you hated it, but that like Pet Cemetery Bloodlines that came out, and I felt like Paramount like planted a flag and they're like, this is a Paramount production, come on over to Paramount Plus and watch this. And everyone's like, yeah, I'll just watch my toilet as I flush it instead. How about that? um
Oh, that was
and
like a Paramount exclusive. That didn't go to theaters or anything.
No, I
It
know.
was
That's what I'm saying, though. But they really owned that movie. And, like,
right.
nobody's owning this movie. Like, this movie just got made and, like, shuffled away. So,
Shuffled away,
um,
and I don't understand why,
I
especially
don't either.
since I mean, just the inclusion of Jamie Campbell Bower, they like with as
Missed
big as
opportunity.
Stranger Things was, the same thing we talked about when we just watched Cold Storage. Like
Yeah.
with as
Yep.
big as Stranger Things was, and it just ended. Why are these movies, these good movies, just getting shuffled away when you could absolutely use that name to draw in viewers?
Yeah. And, like, I mean, this is like, I'm okay. So it's good. It's not like good, good, but, like,
Well, right, but
so Whistle was in the theater and this wasn't.
right,
That's a head scratcher to me because I thought Whistle was nowhere near as good as this one. You
right.
know,
I agree with
so
you. I mean, I didn't mind Whistle, but it was not as good as this one, and it still got a couple weeks in the theater.
I mean, is it just because this was like a like we have like what I don't know 16th century France? Is that like immediately like the executives are like, well, yeah, that's not going to fly with the kids, so just bury this. It's like
Well,
I
this movie also had a weird release, though. So, like, it's from 2024. It didn't get a theatrical release until 2025. Like, maybe it's a rights thing.
well, that's common though. That happens all the time. I mean, all the time.
Mm.
Um, but also, and I made this faux pas earlier, and you corrected me. But if you look at when I logged it on Letterbox yesterday, it says 2019. So I was thinking when
Oh,
I
so that's where you got that from. Because you said you saw it on IMDb, and when I looked, I'm like, no, it's
it was Letterbox. Yeah, Letterbox
okay.
clearly says 2019. Now it's obviously wrong.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's it got a big article in Fangoria. So,
Yeah,
like, I feel like horror fans at least knew about it. I mean, it was on my radar. I was waiting for it, and then I'm like, wait, what do you mean it's here for 2 days and it's gone?
I feel like it's the kind of thing that horror fans might have known about, but also you can know about, I mean, shit slips my mind all the time, right? So like I'll bet you
Right.
there's a lot of people out there that like read that in Fango or had some awareness of it and it
It
skirted by
just
them
never came
and
out.
yeah, they're like listening now and they're like, "Wait, what now? Oh, wait, I do remember that, you know?" I don't know. I mean, it's one of those the remarkable mismanagement of horror all the time. It's just like,
Hmm.
people greenlight movies and they fund them and then they're like, ah, just throw it in the fucking garbage. It's like, I don't. You got Vecna, right? The villain from the most popular TV show of the last fucking 20 years, and
Right.
you should
You couldn't
you
market
can at
that?
least leverage that. I mean,
Well, also, when I saw it in the theater, I want to say it was in October or like in the fall. Like it was the right time too.
right?
So I don't get it why it got swept under the rug.
That's
Um
so weird to me.
and being that it is people see, oh, it's a remake. I don't want to watch another stupid remake. Um and I absolutely have that attitude sometimes too, but this looked this looked fun. I love the original anyways, but I was Chuck Russell and Jamie Campbell Bower were enough of a selling point where I'm like, I want to see this. I
Yeah,
and again, it only played for a weekend, and even though I practically live at the freaking movie theater, I had to like make an effort to see it because it wasn't playing at. I didn't get a lot of days to. It's like you have to see it this weekend and it's gone. So I had to see it at like 10:30 on a Sunday or something.
so
And I'm
fucking
glad I
weird.
went. I did have I'm glad I got to see it on a big screen, and it's always a treat for it's I have conflicting feelings about this because I always want horror and the indies to succeed, but I also always get excited when I get a theater to myself.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Like that's a special treat for me when the universe gives me that, but I also want people to see these movies. I want these movies to exist. I want the theaters to exist, you know. But I think this is one that's absolutely worth checking out.
I
And even
agree.
if you like the original, you're not going to walk away from it going, "Oh, this ruined it." They tell different
No, you're
stories.
not at all. It's so two totally different things.
Right.
Not there. There's like two homages
Hmm.
basically, and other than that, um, also has Charlie Tahan in it, who's from Ozark, but people know from Ozark, but also Super Dark Times, and uh,
Is he Richie?
yeah,
The Okay.
um,
So that's what I knew him from was Super Dark Times. I haven't
Super
seen
Dark
Ozark,
Times, yeah.
but I was staring
He
at him and I'm like, why do I know that guy?
Yeah, he's in that. He's in an episode of that Monsterland, the Nathan Ballingrud adaptation, the anthology show.
Okay.
Um,
I never saw that. I remember you talking about it and I think I forgot about it.
but it's solid, and I don't know. I mean, again, I used verses at the beginning of the episode, but it's not a verse. It's just kind of juxtaposing the two, and
Right.
overall, like I just like that these are out there. I'm glad that I could finally kind of latch on because there is a very particular flavor about Witchboard, and I think it's the Kevin Tenney isms.
Hmm.
But like I wanted to engage with it, and each time I watched it, I wanted to engage with it, and it just I just had to come at it from the right angle. And this is something I often do. Like I will very rarely outright refuse a movie. Like it's just very rare because I'll be like, context. Maybe I don't have the right context. Maybe I'm not in the right state of mind, whatever the case may be. So, again, not in a super hurry to watch it, again, but I enjoyed it. Watching with Joe Bob was excellent.
Hmm. I'm glad you enjoyed both of them and that they weren't, because sometimes the stuff that hits me in the, oh, this is really fun place does not hit you the same way.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, absolutely true. But again, like the new one, really, like I had to look and see, like, did the people that because I couldn't remember who did the Castle Freak remake. I'm like, did they have anything to do with this? Because it just felt similar, and
Okay.
I think it's just
I haven't
they.
seen that in a while. I saw the Castle Freak remake and I remember liking it,
It's
but I don't
good.
remember like anything else about it. So I
It
guess I
it,
need to
it
watch it again.
it has issues, but for like overall, there was enough about it that like I was like, wow, you really like did something. It's not as different to the to the original Castle Freak as this is to the original Witchboard, but it still is like it did its own thing, and I don't know. There's just something. I just like the way they did it. So
Okay.
I I definitely think. I mean, most people listening will probably know 86 Witchboard, right? I mean.
Right.
Um, But the remake is
And
worth your time, like Missy said.
yeah, and you can rent it on Prime. I don't even know if it's gotten a physical release because I had looked and at the time I couldn't find one. I own it digitally because I've watched it a few times.
Mm,
Um, which is also a shame that it again, it just seems like it's being swept under the rug everywhere.
yeah.
But you can rent that on Prime. The original Witchboard, um, it's on Prime, it's on Tubi. If you have AMC Plus or Shutter and you like Joe Bob, it's still up there with him. So there's a lot of options to watch the original if you're listening and you haven't seen it or don't remember it. And if you want to see the 2024, you can rent it on Prime for what, $5? What
I
did
think
you
it was
say?
$5. That sounds right.
Okay.
That's a ballpark. So
It's it's worth your $5. And if you liked the original, I mean, this is not going to change how you feel about the original. It's not going to piss you off. It's just going to be a fun time.
yeah, I mean, I would say if you don't like the original, you should
You
still
could,
probably give
yeah,
this a
that too.
roll because it's different enough where you might be like, oh yeah, okay, that's better.
Right. It does delve into the witchcraft angle. It's got some pretty good gore. It has some cool deaths.
I mean, just the fact that they balance between, again, like whatever it is, 1690 France and fucking modern day. I thought that was really interesting that they went that route and
And they
you
do
know,
it pretty well.
they do it
It
pretty
doesn't,
well.
it's not boring. Um, because they tried to do that in like the Fear Street 1666 movie, and while I liked the other ones, I hate the first half of that movie. When it goes back to the 90s or whatever, it's fine. But
Well, but that's because this doesn't like now we're here and we're staying here, right? It like really jumps back and forth, and I thought that was narratively speaking, it was interesting, you know.
and it's a good way to convey it, especially because that will disconnect a lot of people
Yes,
if you stay there. It's a hard time to
yeah,
be in. The witch has its place, but I have to be in the right mood for something like that, or you're going to lose me. This never. It's not boring. It's not. Movies that deal with that time period usually just feel slow and heavy. It just gives
right,
you flashes, and it's enough to give you what you need.
yeah,
So I think it handles that aspect well because that is the part of the story that if something was going to disconnect me, if we stayed there a long time, it would
it
have.
would have been that.
And especially with the way the rest of the movie is paced and everything, that would have, I think that would have sunk it. And I think they kept the balance well.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I can watch a witch any old time, but the difference is the witch, you know what you're that's what you're getting. But when you start in present day and then you jump, you got to be
Hmm.
careful, right? Because I didn't dislike that Fear Street as much as you did, but I don't like that was kind of a grinding to a halt to that trilogy, you know.
And right when the first two installments were quite strong.
The second one was fucking excellent. I
I
mean, I
love
haven't
the
seen it
second
since it
one.
aired, but yeah.
The second one was the one I liked the best too. The one in the 70s.
Yeah. Uh, but okay, so that's Witchboard, and there are other Witchboard movies from the original. You know, I think there's a 2 and a 3.
There are. There may even be a fourth one, but I'm not positive on that. But I know there's Witchboard 2 and Witchboard 3, The Possession, I think. It's one of those ones that had like a colon with a second name.
Yeah, right. Um,
It was that time period
it was
where
that time.
everything
It was
right.
colon time. So yeah, that's Witchboard, 86 and 2024, and this is the Horror Vision. I'm Sean.
And I'm Missy.
When incoming high school senior Lisa McCready's boyfriend and classmates are brutally murdered at a party in the woods, the quiet suburban community of Sundown Hills transforms into a paranoid nightmare. Betrayal, corruption, and dark family secrets push Lisa dead center into a burgeoning class war where rival millionaires plot to steal the town's future between reliance on big oil and the incoming age of legalized weed, electric cars, and social conscience. As she struggles for answers, the killings continue, and Lisa finds the world she knew is little more than a lie to placate the masses and keep a satanic 1% in power. From the demented mind of Sean C. Baker, author of Murder Virus, a collection of desires, and Volume 4, comes Black Gloves and Broken Hearts, Teenage Giallo Mystery, available